Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the final outdoor excursion that we have. We're going to do a 1v1v1 tournament. Us three, one rod, one reel. Are we doing the one lure or multiple lures just on the same rod? I only got one rod with the
One
wheel
rod.
head, but different plastics for it, and different weights, just
I
in
don't
case
care.
the wind and stuff like that.
If you think you need more to catch them, I get it.
I'm only going to use one just because I want to prove a point. So, Mr. Rick, what setup do you have, and what are you choosing to throw today?
I am throwing the Imakatsu Gilroy Jr. in a crappie pattern.
Nice.
I'm also throwing it on the Gancraft Killers Dark Metal Rod and a Gancraft Daiwa Collaboration T3.
Good. Is that where you're going to stick to throw the whole time?
Well, I have the Gilroy Jr., I have a Gilroy Mini, I have the Gilroy Baby, so it's going to be a Gilroy.
All on that same rod?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What size line is that?
12 pound.
12 pound. Oh,
Yep.
Okay. Wow. This
And
guy.
I have decoy quad hooks on this bait.
Nice.
Where's
Mr.
the camera?
Muninori, what are you choosing to throw today, and why? What size weight is that?
This is 1.4. So the reason that why I brought spoon for bass fishing is, the last couple of weeks, the trout opener.
Yeah.
I've been throwing spoon to catch trout. Occasionally catch bass, larges and smallies. So, it catches fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not bring it?
Yeah. And why small instead? Because you have a bunch of bigger ones too. You have
Yes.
the aluminum ones.
Yeah, I have from the smallest one is 0.6, the biggest one is like 7 grams, the quarter ounce. I do have them, but this is 1.4. This is like a magic number for me. It just catches fish.
So that's your confidence bait.
Confidence bait, and this is the shad water, so I brought a silver color.
Okay. And what rod are you choosing?
This is Nori's structure rod, structure 620 MLS. This is a finesse tip rod.
And you were explaining that that's the
Broken.
one.
This is actually a rod test for me.
Yeah.
This rod was broken and I repaired them. This is originally a solid carbon rod, but since the tip is broken, I surgically inserted a tuber
Yeah.
with the carbon core in it. So if I catch a big fish with one bite, rod may snap.
Yeah.
It's for me to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's testing purposes.
Testing purpose.
But so you're allowed to have a second one just in case
Yeah,
that breaks. So
I have a
we
backup
allow
rod.
it, right, Rick?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, that's allowed. It's hard to beat that crappie pattern this time of year. So,
That's the first time I see you throw a crappie pattern. Usually bluegill pattern.
yeah, bluegill patterns, but I don't know where my original Gilroy Jr. is, so I called Muninori this morning and asked him if he had a spare.
Yeah.
So-
And when you made that color, right? That's the color you
yes.
made? Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys. It's 8:49. We got 10 minutes to get ready and Come here, Bears. Come here, Bears.
It's not bluegill, it's a bass.
Minimum 12 inches.
Yeah. It's a little bass.
Jumbo gill. Jumbo gill. Look at that big old slab. Look at that big old slab. Too bad we're not catching gills. Oh. Look at this puppy. You ever seen a big old big gill like that? Scary, huh? So tiny. But to me. Jumbo. Bluegill. these gills are huge, dude. Look at puppy.
That's what we came for right there.
Upgrade, 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 upgrade. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Come here.
Hello everyone, we are back at the warehouse. We didn't have a chance to do the outro on the water. So on the day of the water, it was really windy. Since I was using 1.5 gram nori spoon, I was unable to fish most of the area where wind really hits. So I chose to stay in the protected area for an hour, simply casting to the area where wind wasn't too bad, and I ended up catching 2 bass and 4 or 5 bluegills. If I were able to walk around, I could have caught a lot of more fish, I guess. It just wasn't the case for me. It all depends on the water. Again, it was a windy day. My approach was to somewhat slower, go really, using entire depths of the water because of the cold front moving a day before. I kind of guessed that fish are more tight to the bottom. In an area where wind was protected, fish are really tight to bottom. And my concern was that the lake that we fish, it's known for really weedy. So if whether weed was still there or not, because was it end of October, early November-ish? So, its timing was kind of difficult. They usually turn over, but when I get there, water was clean. So whether turnover was already over or didn't happen yet, but it was good for me since I was throwing a spoon. So I just cast it, let the spoon fall all the way to the bottom. The first weekend of October is a trout opener for Illinois, and this year I caught a lot of bass while I was catching trout. That's why I decided to bring trout spoons for this special occasion with you guys with different baits. I just wanted to show other folks that spoon do work this time of the year. I did catch 2 bass, many bluegills, big old bluegills, and surprisingly, yeah, end October, early November, right before the lake freezes up in Midwest, spoons or any metallic type baits do really work. Sometimes we outfish even the live baits. So I hope you guys get to see that.
So looking back at the cameras, it was very interesting to see that we all had different approaches. Muninori was throwing a really small spoon. He stayed in a protected cove where there was no wind. I walked the north side of the shore. Rick walked the south side of the shore. So we all had extremely different approaches. Rick was throwing a swim bait. I was throwing a paddle tail on the new wheelhead that just came out, the Wheelhead 2. It was extremely interesting to see that we all had different approaches. So for me, I wouldn't change anything. I just wish that the fish were more active. Bluegills were really active, and that's what me and Muninori were catching mostly. Rick had a little less activity, but again, he's throwing a bigger bait, but he ended up catching the big fish at the end. So it was kind of interesting to see that we all had a different approach. If I can take anything away from that interaction that we had, was that you're going to catch fish no matter what around this time of year. You could be throwing finesse baits like Mr. Muninori with the little trout spoons, a more traditional wheelhead and paddle tail like I did, or a bigger swim bait like Rick was throwing. You're going to have success no matter what. And let's see what Rick thinks about the video, right?
Yes, I believe I started with the Gilroy Jr. Based on the weather conditions, a little bit windier. I added a little bit of weight for a slow sink, and I was just constantly reeling it and trying to provoke a bite that way. And then After fishing for, I don't know, 45 minutes, I decided to downsize because I did see fish swipe at it, just never commit. So I tied on the mini, which I didn't have the bill like you do see here in the picture, but I did have the boots tail on it. I had added some weight strips the night before to give it a little bit slow sink, and I was just making my cast, and I would burn install it, and that's when I was getting the bites. I would have started with the mini right from the get-go. No, not at all. It was a surprise. You know, hindsight being 2020, I would have used a completely different rod and reel on that setup, but there was enough weight on this bait to get it out far enough to where I could still use it. Yeah. You know, it's really hard to say. When the wind kicks up like that, sure, when you're using less than 10 grams, it makes it challenging to cast like that. I like the wind because it breaks up the surface tension on the water, and I don't mind the wind personally, unless I'm fishing against it. So, you know, I was trying to find areas that weren't as windy, but I was also throwing within 10 to 15 feet of the shore and running it parallel. Because I know in that little body of water, there are drops that those fish will sit and wait for bait fish to come by and snag them.
So I guess
Well,
that
thank
makes
you.
the champion for
Yeah,
the winter?
for 2020,
For
2025.
2025.
You want me to start with this in 2026, or you want me to use the little bats?